Hey, I'm Zan, and welcome to week 5 of the UNPL. This season is flying by, and I'm having so much fun, and I hope you're enjoying watching. This week, we're taking on Golden Guy, and he has a terrifying team, honestly. There's not a lot of good ways to prep for what he's got. Before we get into it, if you'd like to skip straight to the battle, the very top of the description will have the time you can skip to. Just click that timer, it'll take you straight to the battle. But if you want to hear me talk about the team a little bit, we'll talk about it, okay? So looking at Golden Guy's team, he's got the Terapagos and the Spectrier as crazy strong special threats, alongside things like Dragalge and Thundurus as a Terra Captain, Thundurus, not Dragalge. So a lot of special offense that could either set up or just be strong straight out the gate, while also having physical offense in Meowscarada, Medicham, Talonflame, things that are hard to switch in on, and having Lapras, which is kind of his X factor. I think he's already run Whirlpool Perish Song, but he's also run a Dragon Dance set, so Lapras could really be anything. So, a little nervous about that one, but we're hoping maybe he just brings Thundurus and does us a favor. Regardless, looking at our team this week, you're going to notice we're missing a couple of key components. We don't have a Quaquaval, and we don't have our Ursaring, and we don't have Gliscor. We are missing a lot of big names. I think Ursaring would have been fantastic here. I think it looks amazing into Spectrier if Icatera, and honestly, Hydrapple just looks too good to not bring to this matchup. So if you didn't see our transactions video that I hopefully put up midweek, if there wasn't a video, then well, now you know. We dropped a good chunk of our team. If you saw the team that just popped up, we dropped Sinistcha and Armarouge, and we picked up Delphox and Hydrapple. We also dropped our 1-pointers. So we've got Hydrapple now. It looks great in this matchup. I think the mixture of Fickle Beam, Earth Power hits everything. But we've also got Sucker Punch and Dragon Tail. Sucker Punch to catch Spectrier off guard if it is low, because we have a lot of things that may not be able to knock it out. And then Dragon Tail just gets rid of any kind of setup he wants to do on things like Terapagos. We've got the Lycanroc Swords Dance. This is our kind of our secondary setup win con if Magearna doesn't work out. So Lycanroc is Swords Dance, Excel Rock, I think Psychic Fang's Close Combat. So just doing huge damage to everything on his team with that coverage. Plus 2 Excel Rock with Life Orb, just going to blow through everything. The hard part about Lycanroc is actually getting that Swords Dance up. A big part of that is going to be screens with Sableye. So we're lead with eject buttons. So hopefully we get one screen up immediately and take a hit, get phased out. And then we can bring Sableye back in later to set screens again for another Pokemon. That's kind of the plan here. We've got our Magearna. It is a solo attack. It has Flash Cannon. I know our opponent likes Disable, especially on Spectrier. So we're hoping to not get our Flash Cannon disabled, or we're feeling pretty bad. But we have Calm Mind, Shift Gear, Substitute, just to help us get around his Prankster shenanigans, help us get faster than everything, and help us get bulky and strong, is kind of the idea there. We've got the Assault Vest, Roaring Moon. So double Dragon, Assault Vest. Oh, and Hydrapple, Tera Fairy, just so you know. Just a really good defensive type here. Roaring Moon, we have Scale Shot, we have Knockoff, Earthquake, U-Turn. It is immune to Prankster, so it looks really good into his Prankster Mons. Knockoff, he doesn't have a lot of great switch-ins to, other than like Flame Body, Talonflame. And Scale Shot helps us get faster than everything, because he has like 3 or 4 Mons faster than Roaring Moon, which is kind of crazy to me. So Scale Shot just helps us outspeed those. Otherwise, pretty standard. We live a Draining Kiss. Finally, Delphox. Delphox was not originally here. This was Quaquaval originally, because we want Spin. He has a lot of hazards. Problem is, Quaquaval looks awful into this matchup, in my opinion. It just can't break Lapras. It defensively lets things set up on it. If it's super offensive, it can't break. So I didn't like it. So instead, I have a Delphox. It's kind of a pseudo screens. It's got Mystical Fire plus Will-O-Wisp, so it kind of reduces the opponent's offensive stats as well. Psyshock to do some damage to things. And then we've got the Encore to hopefully lock something in, give us a chance to set up Lycanroc, set up Magearna. You know, feeling pretty good. I think this game could definitely go bad. There's a lot of ways it could go good. There's also a lot of opportunities he has to set up and beat us. So we're going to try to avoid that as well as we can. He just pinged me saying he was ready, so let's get straight into the battle. Alright, we are back. And he has both his Terra Captains, Ice, Thundurus, and Ground Lapras. Ground type Lapras, so probably DD. And then Ice, Thundurus, I guess Bolt Beam coverage is pretty good for him. There's something strong missing here. I see Terapagos, Meowscarada, Spectrier. So no Donphan, no Spin, which is nice. Does have the Medicham. I was worried about the Medicham. It's one of his cheaper Pokemon, but definitely strong. No Dragalge is fine. No Talonflame is fine. No Klefki. That's what's missing. I really expected Klefki this week, so that's a little bit surprising. So our lead is always Sableye. We live any one hit. We are EV to live in Adamant, max attack. Flower Trick because it hits through Reflect. Otherwise, we always get a screen up on whatever offensive move he clicks. So feeling pretty good there. I was kind of hoping he would bring the Talonflame because it is setup fodder, but I understand why he didn't. Looking at his weaknesses, he doesn't have a Fire switch in, which is kind of nice for us. Doesn't have a Fairy switch in. Didn't bring any of his Steel weaknesses, so he honestly, in retrospect, should have been like Dazzling Gleam on Magearna, and we would have been feeling a lot better here. But Flash Cannon into an Ice-type Thundurus is pretty nice. So, good luck, have fun to my opponent. Super excited. So, we are currently at 3-1. He's at 2-2. So, if he were to win this battle, he evens this up and makes the playoff game a lot more interesting. So, we want to win, but if we can make it a low differential loss, then I'm also okay with that. Because we're coming up quick on playoffs. It's surprising, and you know, I've really enjoyed this league. I feel like there are some trades I could have made that I didn't. And I don't know, maybe it'll bite us in the butt. So the only way this lead goes badly is if he's lead Taunt Thundurus. His lead is to Woomba, which is Metacham. Okay. Interesting. I try not to say that word too much. I feel like I say interesting way too much. So we actually are immune to his dual stab, which is nice. Ice Punch is doing over half, but with a Reflect up, it's not. So I'm just going to Reflect. Hard switches immediately, which is nice. Into Sydney. I'm not sure who that is. Sydney is the Meowscarada. So it does want to hit us through the Reflect, which is fine. It might knock us off. If it knocks off our eject button, we feel a little awkward. But I'm kind of hoping he is baited to go for the crit through screens, a guaranteed crit. Our obvious switch in is Magearna, but we don't really want to lose our leftovers. So I'm going to go for a light screen just to see if he'll hit us with a Flower Trick or a U-turn to pivot us out, because he actually won't pivot himself if he goes for U-turn. So I was kind of hoping it was a Meowscarada lead. I know he does favor that, so it kind of worked out, I guess. Does just go for knock, so we do lose our eject button. Protean's into the dark type, and that's about a third. So we can get an idea of how strong that is. He now knows we were eject button, which is a little awkward. Could definitely go for a triple axle. I could also go... He could play rough, though. He has a lot of options here, and I don't think that was banded. I actually don't know what item that was, because I did more damage than I anticipated. Knock. 80, actually, yeah, that's about right. It's not banded. I can go Magearna here and try to start setting up. He could definitely U-turn, but I think I will go Magearna. If he double knocks, good play, gets rid of our recovery, but I think we do have quite a bit in the tank to set this up. Does go for double knock, gets rid of our recovery, but this Meowscarada I don't think has anything that threatens Magearna at all. So what I will lead with is a substitute. He should know we're substitute because he knocked off leftovers. He might be Scarf. Him double knocking leads me to believe he is probably Scarf. So he is knock. I'm going to put Scarf with a question mark. And otherwise we know nothing about his team, which is kind of funny. So our screens are quickly running out. We don't have a whole lot of time to capitalize and set up. But maybe we can do some damage. He does switch. Hoping to see like Thundurus here. Perth. The option is Spectrier. So could definitely be Disable. Could be like I expected Willow Hex sub. If I had to guess what he was. I will shift gear once, and I can Calm Mind afterward. Taunts. Okay, that's fair. Did that knock really do like a third to me? Did that crit? Was I not paying attention? Okay, our Reflect wears off, but we still have Lat Screen for one more turn. Oh, no, sorry. I subbed. I'm stupid. I'm not paying very much attention. So he's Taunt Shadow Ball. This shouldn't break our sub with Light Screen up. It doesn't. Okay, that's cool. So we'll get a lot of damage off, which is fine with me. Don't quite two-shot, which is a little bit of an EVing failure on my part. So Shadow Ball, that looks fairly normal. He's not any kind of boosting item from what I can tell. And our Flash Cannon seems to be a roll, so he probably has a little bit of HP investment. I don't really have another play but to Flash Cannon again. He will Shadow Ball again. This one will almost certainly break our sub unless he is like min special attack, which would not make very much sense. And we also lost Light Screen, so it definitely does. So we will Flash Cannon again. Almost knocks him out. Okay. I was almost going to run Shadow Sneak Sableye, which would have been sick here, but we didn't. So I really don't want Magearna to take more damage. I feel like it's really good late game. And it is our primary Meowscarada Pokemon. Our switch into this is Aries, really. Roaring Moon is another option. Draining Kiss doesn't do half. But Hydrapple really is not taking anything. I do kind of like the Roaring Moon Scale Shot, though. I will go into that. He could be Wisp. He's also really thinking about this, so he may switch to save this, which would be totally fine with me. Yeah, this is a pretty important game for both of us, so I definitely expected him to bring his all. I was hoping he would be disabled over time, I'll be honest. So it looks like he does stay in, because I did switch, he didn't. Goes for the Shadow Ball again. This will do pitiful damage, and then a Draining Kiss will not do anything either. So, gets the Spadef drop, which makes me a little nervous. It did 63 damage. So if we look at Roaring Moon, it's some kind of boosting item. So if we're at -1, Draining Kiss does up to 272. So I can go for Scale Shot here. I think I'll go for U-turn though, hoping he switches. Does go for Draining Kiss. This should not knock me out. He doesn't knock me out. Leaves me low, but Roaring Moon was not. Oh, but I won't knock him out. Okay, that was a bad play on my part. I just lost a ton of health on Roaring Moon for nothing. So a little bit of an unfortunate Spadef drop. I could have definitely went for knock and just knocked him out, but I do think he is probably Culper Berry based on the way he stayed in there. I will go into Hydrapple here. I'm playing this badly at the beginning. I should have just went into it to begin with. This is our AV regen mon. We have a lot more health to spare on this. Just gonna Tera Fickle Beam. Should knock him out from here, as Draining Kiss won't do that much to us once we Tera. So that was silly of me. Because yeah, Shadow Ball is not even doing a third to me here. So that was very silly on my part. He does just stay in. Fickle Beam should KO. If he Draining Kisses, he might get enough health back to live one and hit me with a Shadow Ball after. Could taunt, for sure. But Hydrapple knows like 6 attacks, and most of them are damaging attacks. That's just Shadow Ball for Chip. That's fine. A lot of Chip. What is this guy's item? So Fickle Beam knocks him out. We didn't get the like boosted Fickle Beam, but we do knock him out, which is nice. So we don't get 6-0'd. Always a victory. No Spectre. But problem is, nothing else is even hurt. We have no hazards, and we've taken an incredible amount of damage. So that was... I should have just went straight into this. Although I guess it would be on like 20% health. So if I switched it out, it would only be at like 50%. So not fantastic. If we look back at our prep doc, I can get rid of Spectre. So I honestly, that's a good thing to get rid of early, because it does steamroll teams pretty hard. So he definitely... Meowscarada, I swear that thing's got to be Scarf. Like, the way he double knocked with it, I'm gonna assume it was Scarfed. And we do get a communication error, which is very unfortunate. I've never had one of those in Wi-Fi, so I don't think that's on my end. It's unfortunate. We're gonna remake, and we will be right back. We ended with, it seems like maybe a slightly healthier Hydrapple, definitely a decently healthier Roaring Moon, and slightly more damage on our Sableye. He brings in the Meowscarada, so I think he wants to get rid of my Assault Vest, because I could definitely have Tera Blast here, because he's almost certainly Scarf. We're Tera Fairy. Triple Axel's not doing half. How important is Hydrapple? So otherwise we go into Victra. I mean, Hydrapple's pretty important for Terapagos and Thundurus. But I just don't see how this one-shots us. It just U-turns. Okay, so we get a free Fickle Beam into something. It does what I would imagine is Scarf damage. So that's fine. So he's U-turn. I still am thinking he's Scarf. Something eats a Fickle Beam here. And only one of his Terra Captains can Terra. Lycanroc still KOs Lapras unless it's like super Fizz Def with a +2 CC, so we're fine there. And obviously we destroy the Thundurus. So he brings in Brisbane, which is the Thundurus, okay. We get our Fickle Beam off. We don't get the boost. We do about 50%. We are AV. I kind of hate that the main Thundurus in the calc is like a support set, so we can't really see. If he's special attacking, he's like Sludge Bomb. He might KO. Yeah. So I think what I can do is pivot into maybe Moon here. I don't think Moon has the most fantastic matchup. Although neither does Magearna really. Because I think he could one-shot us. If he's physical, maybe. And I do want to save Hydrapple and get it healthy again. And we get another Calm Error. So we're probably going to take this to Showdown. So we're going to switch to Showdown. I know it's not as flashy, but we've got to finish the battle, right? So we will, we'll see you over there. All right, we should be back as long as this Fickle Beam doesn't crit or do Fickle Beam shenanigans on Tornadus. All right, we're back. Okay. That was a lot of recreating. I think we had to redo it in Showdown about 5 times after trying 3 times in the normal game. So we're fully back. I'm gonna get my calc back up. I know that I live this hit no matter what with Hydrapple, but I also know that unless he Terra Ice Terra Blast, well, actually no, we don't live with Roaring Moon. So the real question is, do we even need Roaring Moon for this game? Because assuming Meowscarada outspeeds, assuming we can knock Terapagos, that would be nice. Lapras might have Ice Shard, and Medicham might have Bullet Punch. So I don't know how important Roaring Moon is to our final game plan, but I don't want to lose this if I don't have to. But he does have to be Life Orb to knock me out. I just feel like I could give up Moon here, and it would be... That's kind of the play I was going to commit to, and I'd like the health back on Hydrapple. So he does T-Bolt, we do live. So I don't think he's Scarf here. I am just going to click Knock. So if he didn't know we were AV, which I'm pretty sure he does, based on the Draining Kiss damage, he definitely knows now. So that was actually maybe a roll, or he's just not that invested. Based on the damage we did to him with Fickle Beam, I actually think he's like not bulky, so maybe he's mixed attacking or something. So he does come to Medicham. We do hit it with a knockoff. We do honestly an insane amount of damage. He is banded. So we have a ton of damage on everything now. So Lycanroc is looking really good into this endgame. I actually need to make sure that the recording, like the audio is working correctly. It looks like it is. I'm just going to have faith that it is, and if not, I'll post comment. So I could definitely sack this to the Bullet Punch. But if he doesn't Bullet Punch, that's a problem. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so he is Bullet Punch. Do we knock him out with Lycanroc? Accelerock should always knock him out. Adversely, we go Sableye, and we get our screens up again. That brings Meowscarada back in to knock spam again, but we have a no-item Magearna, so that should be fine. I will just go for another Reflect. If he wants to stay in an attack, that's totally fine. He can Bullet Punch. It'll do minimal damage. I guess I could have run... Okay, he goes into Lapras. So I'm Encore. I'm okay with this being like Whirlpool, Perish Trap, or Dragon Dance. I think I'm okay with it being Dragon Dance. Actually, I could go relatively for free into Hydrapple. I don't think it threatens me very much. It doesn't help that there's no set in the calc, but I will go into Hydrapple just because it might be a trapping set. It is a Dragon Dance set. Dragon Dance, Terra Ground. So I am just going to Dragon Tail. I'm not letting this get out of hand. We do have a Reflect up, so we're not very worried about anything it wants to do right now. We are terrestrialized. Yeah, with Reflect up, it's not even doing like 20%. So, feeling okay. Feeling a little weird playing in Showdown, if we're being honest with ourselves. But that's just kind of the hand we're dealt. Our opponent's internet, it is what it is. We battle either way, right? So our win con is not letting Lapras beat us. We do Dragon Tail. We do 26 to that. That's crazy. We bring the Lapras back in. It's still not doing any damage to us, so I am just going to Dragon Tail again. I really wanted hazards with this Dragon Tail set. I just couldn't really afford to put them anywhere. He goes for Icicle Spear. It looks like he might be loaded dice. Yeah, gets all 5 hits, so I have to think he's loaded dice. We do 18% to him. Medicham comes in. I think I hard switch into Sableye here, because we can probably take a hit. I don't know if I want to. So I think I will just Fickle Beam. Does Zen for 20%. Fickle Beam knocks him out. Okay, so that's good. We lose our Reflect. I don't know what he goes into on this. Might be the Terapagos. I think we want health on this because it always forces out Lapras unless it's his last Pokemon. He goes into the Meows again. I feel like it might be able to knock me out with the Triple Axle here. If we look at Sableye, it definitely KOs Sableye. So I will just go into Mag. I could also go into our Delphox, who I haven't really utilized so far. He does just U-turn. Okay. I guess I could have predicted that and went for a Fickle Beam. But this is telling me that he doesn't have a good way to break Hydrapple. I don't really know what he wants to bring in on Magearna at this point. We can't really effectively set up on anything, but Magearna doesn't really let anything set up either. Goes back into the Lapras. We can Encore him permanently into Dragon Dance, and I think I might go into Sableye and do just that. Knowing now that he is probably loaded dice, there's no chance he's like Mental Herb. Does Terra Ground, Earthquakes. Okay, that hurts. I will just go for the Reflect. Go ahead and get our defenses up one more time. So we could probably see if he's adamant based on that damage. He does Dragon Dance, so we can now show the Encore. He is permanently Dragon Dancing. And now I can just click Nightshade. It's not going to do too much to Lapras, just because, you know, it's a Lapras. So now he's locked into Dragon Dance, and he's forced to either keep doing it or switch out. We will knock out the Thundurus if it comes in. Okay, so Thundurus comes in. Sableye gets a KO, which is the last thing I expected out of this battle, if we're being honest. So we've now shown that Lapras can never set up as long as Sableye's in. Lapras comes back in. He's definitely not going to click Dragon Dance here. Probably clicks the Terra Ground Earthquake. It will do a lot of damage. Lycanroc obviously doesn't want to switch in, neither does Magearna. So we do want to save this just as an always guarantee to beat down the rest of his team. I think I will go into the Hydrapple here. Goes for Alluring Voice. Oh, wow, so he's mixed with Fairy coverage. That's cool. I am just going to go for the Fickle Beam. I think this might two-shot if we get lucky with the 30% proc. So we know it's full set now. He just Icicle Spears. He's just going for chip damage. Makes perfect sense. Wow, that does a lot. So the next one actually does knock us out, which is kind of crazy. So how do we win this game? Maybe Magearna should wall Meows always, but we don't knock Meows out. I don't even know why I'm holding onto this Delphox at this point, because it's not really doing anything. I actually am going to go into it here and try to catch him with a burn. I don't think he Earthquakes. If he Earthquakes, we lose Delphox for no reason. But Delphox doesn't look fantastic into this because, well, it does force Meows to lock in a knock because we resist everything that's not knock, assuming he's Scarfed. But I do really want health on this. And I don't want to get knocked out by these Icicle Spears. It looks like it may not knock us out. I kind of metagaming with Showdown a little bit. It looks like it is a roll. So I will go into Delphox. He does Icicle Spear again. Okay, that's good for us. Ow, that really hurts. So we don't knock him out, but we can burn him and stop the Earthquake from knocking us out. We could have also Encored him into Icicle Spear, and then we could go into Magearna to get a Shift Gear. But if he's Scarf Meowscarada, then it doesn't matter. The Icicle Spear plus the Scarf Meowscarada hit would knock us out anyway. Burn is nice here, pretty much regardless. If he goes into Terapagos, we have Mystical Fire to hit it with. And then if it goes into Meowscarada, obviously it being burned is nice. So we've kind of got him stuck. I don't think Earthquake ever knocks us out unless he is adamant. He goes into the Terapagos. So we can see we miss our Willow, which is not fantastic, but we are faster than this guaranteed. So I am just going to go for the Mystical Fire, weaken him a little bit. Obviously does no damage. Goes for Earth Power. We can live another. Terapagos in the calc is so hard to find because everything is VGC or Battle Spot singles, which is funny. That Earth Power, I can't tell. I will go for one more Mystical Fire, and then what I can do is actually Encore, or I can just Mystical Fire him again after this. So we do live on 3%, which is cool. We'll Mystical Fire one more time. It will KO him because we are in Blaze range. I didn't even think of that, but I did run Blaze over Magician since we are Boots. Didn't really see us losing our item without just getting fully KO'd by a knockoff. Goes into Meows. And I think our play here might be Magearna, but if he U-turns, then that's his opportunity to set up with Lapras. We don't want to give him. I don't want to sack this if I don't have to. So, yeah, we just need health on Magearna and maybe Hydrapple to beat this. I mean, honestly, Sableye's done his job. I don't really know what else he does here except Encore Lapras, which he's never going to let me do. So we'll just sack Sableye here. He does U-turn. Should knock me out. Does knock me out. I don't think that crit mattered, honestly. I can check. No, definitely did not matter. Goes into the Lapras. I think a close combat always KOs, and then Accelerock chips Meows pretty well. Or, sorry, not an Accelerock. Yeah, close combat into an Accelerock. Otherwise, we go Mystical Fire, because he can't be thick fat, but he could be like really Spadef Dragon Dance, I guess. If we're at 1 health. Sorry. No, I'm taking a minute to make this decision. Mystical Fire should always knock him out. And then we don't have to be at -1 for the Meowscarada. But I do think this is a fine play. I will just close combat. Should always knock him out. He can't have like a resist barrier or anything. Can't have focus band. And this pins him because he can't just hard switch into Meowscarada either. Okay, so we knock out Lapras. I think even if he was max Fizz Def, it didn't matter. So Meows is last. Lycanroc, Accelerock should do half here. He will knock me out with Flower Trick or whatever he feels like locking into after the fact. Maybe Triple Axle. If he locks in a knock, we should be fine. Goes for Triple Axle and misses. I'm sorry. I think our play after that was just get a kill on Magearna. So all that did was rob Magearna of yet another kill. So our Magearna still has no KOs. We do walk away from that battle 4-0. I am sorry that it did end up going to Showdown. That definitely messed with the momentum of the battle. I may have been far more rushed to make my plays in the actual battle. I may have made more misplays. But that's the way Pokemon is, unfortunately. The game is very unforgiving if you have any lapse of internet connection. So it is what it is. We are now 4-1, and I think we have a +12 differential. So maybe not number 1, but we're up there. So we're feeling really good. I know that at this point, no one is undefeated. So we're standing near the top and looking pretty good to get into playoffs. GG's to my opponent. I hope he is able to make playoffs as well because I love his builds. I think as far as how people build, my opponent is very similar to me, and I want to see him excel. I really like his team, and I think between the hacks maybe got him out of the mindset of this game as well. I think it was just a difficult game for him. So I'm hoping to see him again, and yeah, GG's, and we will see you all next week.